Have you ever looked into a friend's eyes and felt nothing? Not just coldness, but a complete emptiness, like something vital was missing, something you couldn't explain. You might have shrugged it off. Maybe they were just stressed or distracted. But what if you were right to feel it? What if some people, yes, even close friends, truly don't have a soul? It sounds extreme, dangerous even. But that's exactly what Edgar Cayce, America's most documented psychic, claimed over 100 years ago. He said, "Not every human walking among us is spiritually alive." Now, before you reject this as fantasy, pause. Think about those friends you've had who never seem to feel guilt, who never reflect, never change, who drain your energy and leave you questioning yourself, who feel like hollow mirrors. Could it be that what you're sensing isn't just emotional distance, but a deeper spiritual void? Drop a comment. Have you ever had a friend who felt strangely empty to you? In 1923, Cayce, while in a trance state, described these people as empty vessels. They look normal, they talk, work, even laugh. But inside there is no divine spark, no moral compass, no connection to higher meaning, just basic impulses, just survival. This isn't about good versus evil. Cayce wasn't preaching hatred. He was sounding an alarm. In a world full of distractions, fake smiles, and shallow friendships, how do you tell who's truly alive and who's just pretending? Modern psychology might call them narcissists, psychopaths, or sociopaths. But Cayce asked a deeper question. What if the soul itself never arrived? And if that's true, what does it mean for you? How do you protect your energy in a world where even a friend might be spiritually asleep? That's what we're diving into in this video. And by the end, you may never look at your relationships the same way again. According to Edgar Cayce, being soulless doesn't always mean someone is dangerous or violent. It might just mean they're disconnected from empathy, from love, from meaning itself. Have you ever talked to a friend who just didn't get you? Who looked at your pain with a blank face? Or worse, who seemed annoyed by your feelings? That might not be rudeness. That might be spiritual disconnection. Cayce said some people are born with their divine spark dormant, like a sleeping light inside them. Not evil, just unawakened. Think about it. Not everyone asks deep questions. Not everyone reflects on who they are. Some people move through life on autopilot, work, eat, scroll, sleep, without ever wondering why they're here. Does that mean they're bad people? Not necessarily, but it raises a bigger question. Is the soul something you're given, or something you awaken into? Drop your thoughts below. Do you think everyone has a soul, or are some people just empty? Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, said that the soul is not just something we have, it's something we grow into. We become soulful through reflection, suffering, creativity, love. And if someone refuses all of that, if they close off from life's deeper dimensions, they might still be walking, talking, and laughing, but deep down, they're hollow. Now here's where it gets real. Modern neuroscience has found something strange. Some individuals function normally, but their emotional brains are completely offline. They show no remorse, no empathy, just calculation, just impulse. Sound familiar? Psychologists call it antisocial personality disorder. But Cayce, he called it spiritual vacancy. And here's the scary part. These people don't know they're disconnected. They don't miss what they've never felt. So what do you do if someone close to you feels this way? How do you protect your own soul? That's what we'll unpack next. Let's get practical. You've probably met someone who drained you without saying a single cruel word. Maybe a coworker who always made you feel smaller, or a friend who never celebrated your wins. You'd walk away from every interaction with them feeling less. What if that wasn't just emotional mismatch? What if it was energetic? Edgar Cayce believed that some people, even if they appear normal, are spiritually shut down. He called them empty vessels, bodies with habits, desires, and language, but without that divine spark that connects us to others. Here's the tricky part. They're not necessarily bad people. They're just missing the thing that makes life feel sacred. Have you ever had a conversation where someone looked right at you, but their eyes felt vacant? Like no one was really in there? Cayce said some souls fall into a kind of spiritual coma. Not dead, not evil, just asleep. And here's where it gets even more real. Modern psychology describes something similar in people with psychopathy or severe personality disorders. They can mimic human behavior, charm, laugh, even express love. But it's hollow, like acting without a script of real feeling. You know that gut feeling when something is off about someone, but you can't explain it. Trust it. Because your soul might be picking up on something science can't yet measure. Now, here's a personal question. Have you ever started to feel like one of them? Like you've become numb? You laugh less. You cry less. Nothing feels deep anymore. You're fine, but not really alive. If so, it might be time to check your own spiritual connection. Because in a world where survival demands performance, it's easy to drift into autopilot and forget how to feel. Carl Jung once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul." So how do we reconnect? Cayce had a practice, a simple one. Every night before bed, he would sit quietly and ask, "Where did I lose my light today? Did I judge too harshly? Did I miss someone's pain?" Not to feel guilty, but to stay awake. You can try it too. You don't need incense or a guru, just 5 minutes of honesty before you sleep. And here's a bonus. People who keep this kind of daily reflection report more vivid dreams, deeper relationships, and even physical healing. Why? Because the soul, once reawakened, starts to radiate. Now think about someone in your life who seems completely disconnected, emotionally distant, spiritually flat. Instead of judging them, try this. Be the mirror. Let your own spiritual presence remind them that light is still possible. Sometimes just being fully you is enough to awaken something in someone else. And sometimes it's not. But that doesn't mean you let your own light dim. What you feed grows. So the question is, are you feeding the part of you that's alive or the part that just survives? Drop a emoji if you're ready to start growing again. Because in the final part, I'll share Cayce's little-known technique for spiritual protection, something that might just change how you walk through this world. So now we arrive at the final question. How do you protect your light in a world full of spiritual disconnection? If you've ever walked into a room and suddenly felt drained without anyone saying a word, you already know energy is real. And more than that, your energy is vulnerable. Edgar Cayce had a daily practice. It wasn't complicated, it wasn't religious, it was intentional. Every morning, before doing anything else, he would align himself. He would sit quietly, take a few deep breaths and say, "Let me be a channel for light, not fear. Let me meet the day with compassion, not judgment." This wasn't magic. It was maintenance, like brushing your spiritual teeth. Because just like your body collects dust, Your soul picks up other people's pain, chaos, and projection. Now ask yourself, how many times this week have you absorbed someone else's anxiety, their anger, their numbness, and worse, how many times have you passed that on? This is why Cayce insisted on spiritual hygiene, not to be pure or perfect, but to stay connected to the part of you that's eternal. You can create your own ritual. It can be 5 minutes in the morning or before bed. You can journal, pray, sit in silence, even light a candle. The key isn't what you do, it's why you do it. Every act of reflection reconnects you with your soul. Every pause interrupts the autopilot. And every time you choose presence, you reinforce the signal that says, I'm awake, I'm here, I won't sleepwalk through this life. Let's get even more real. We all have moments when we feel disconnected, days when we scroll endlessly, say nothing meaningful, and go to bed numb. That's not failure. That's a signal, a whisper from your soul saying, come back. Cayce never taught fear. He taught responsibility. You don't need to fear the soulless. You need to stay rooted in your own. Because the truth is, we all carry both. The divine spark and the potential to go numb. Have you ever caught yourself treating someone as an object, snapping at a stranger, ignoring someone's pain? That's not just stress. It's the first crack in the connection. But here's the gift. Every day, every moment, you can choose to reconnect. So here's your challenge. Right now, in the comments, share one thing you'll do this week to stay spiritually awake. Will you meditate? Walk in silence? Write your dreams down? Or maybe just smile at someone who seems unseen? And if this video resonated with you, if you've ever felt that deep ache of being surrounded by people who seem empty, then know this, you're not alone. And that ache, it means your soul is still awake, because those without souls don't feel the void. They don't ask these questions. They don't seek meaning. You do. That's your proof. Let this video be your sign to protect that light. Feed it. Grow it. Share it. Because in a world full of spiritual sleepwalkers, your awareness is rebellion, your love is medicine, and your soul is still here.